So today I'm going to show you how I made a pressure pot for resin casting out of one of these from Harbor Freight. All right, so I went to Harbor Freight and I picked up this central pneumatic air pressure paint tank. And what I want to do is I want to make it a pressure pot for using resin when I cast for resin before I take it over on the lathe. So this thing runs 99 bucks, is about the cheapest for something like this, and 20% off coupon. So you get it around 80 bucks. And then you're going to end up spending, 20 bucks on the parts to put it all back together, or to put it together the way that you want it to work. And we'll use some of the parts off of this. Now, I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible with the least amount of parts that I had to buy. So I basically had a reducer that goes onto this part. I'm going to take this air gauge right here and put it over here. And then I'm not even going to use the pressure regulator because I don't really need that. And then here I'm going to put on an inlet valve and a connector to my air hose so that I can pump air into there, and I'll use this release valve to release the air off it. So let's see how I do all of that. All right, so all the work's going to be done on the lid here, so this pot can go right on over there. And the first thing is to get this pipe out right here, which is not on there too tight, so it's not too hard. You're not going to need this at all, so just get rid of this completely. And the inlet here, this part right here, has a diversion piece here, so when the air comes in, it throws it out to the side, which is, you want to keep that. And this one's just going to be a straight out, take right out there. So on this paint outlet part, I'm going to go ahead and put my reducer. And what I have here is I have a 3/8 by 1/4 reducer. And I'll have all the parts listed below and some links so that you can get the parts that you need for yours. So this coupler piece here is going to go on the end right here onto this paint outlet. And that's where I'm going to screw this onto, the pressure valve, or the pressure gauge, I should say, not valve. And let me wrap this around. And it looks like I'm gonna need another bit of this. So all this is just pipe wrap, so that you could make an airtight seal. And we'll start. Now I'm assuming that the pieces that are already on here have been sealed. If you have a leak in them later on, which we'll find out once we set this up, then you can, of course, pull it off and put the pipe tape on there. So let me get this off here. And I think in this case, I'm going to use the right size wrench. So it ended up being a 14 millimeter wrench to take this off. Now again, you don't need the regulator because you're not going to regulate any air coming out. All you got to do is worry about the air going in. And I don't know that you can regulate the air going in. So I just want to have the air so that I know. Let me get some more of this stuff. So I just want to have the air in the tank. I just want to know what the pressure is because I want to get it up to about 40 psi. And hopefully it will stay that way all night when the resin is in there. So that's the plan. And with brass, you got to be careful so that you don't strip it out, which is real easy to do. So I'm just going to come around one more time here, right about there. And there's my pressure valve right there. Easy, so I can see it, because most of the time it's going to be on the ground anyway, so I want to be able to push the air down into it. So on this one here, I have this valve. And it's just a simple on-off valve, on-off shut-off valve. So let me see if I can get this apart, or Maybe I'll have to go get something to tackle it with. I reach for my drawers and they're on that side. So. All right, and this looks like it already has some fastening glue there, so we'll just screw that on. Again, everything seems to be a different size. I wonder if this is all metric. Of course, when I was there, the guy said, no, I went to Home Depot to get the stuff, and they said, no, it's not going to be metric. It's going to be the standard sizes. So I didn't argue with them because, you know, they have more knowledge than I do on things, I would think. So, but all I need to do is just get it on there just once. That seems to be okay. Do it. Now my only concern is that this handle will clear my piece here. Yeah, it should. We'll check it out soon. Okay, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put whatever nipple that you have for your air hose. I have a couple extra ones of these. I didn't have to buy another one while I was there, so that saved me a couple bucks there. But even if you do have to buy them, they're not that much. Guess I should have done this one first. So, learn from my mistakes. If you're doing this, put your air nipple on first so that you don't have to worry about it hitting anything. So, I think that this going on here, yeah, it looks like it will clear. Hate putting on one without pressure because then it's hard to get off, but yeah, that'll clear. So good. All right, so next is to put this all together and try it out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where I want this to fit in at, so that way these won't interfere with anything, although, you know, it should be pretty obvious. And these should be tightened down evenly across here, so don't just tighten down one all the way and then come back and, you know, tighten the other ones. And although I don't think the manual said it didn't need a ton of pressure here, but if you do, you could always use a wrench or something to add a little bit more pressure to make sure that you have a nice seal. But I think that seal inside will expand once the air gets in there. All right, so this is ready to be tried out. Okay, so got this hooked up. I'm gonna open it up and let it go up to right around 40 pounds, and I have a leak around this edge right here. So I'm gonna knock it down for a little bit and let the and let's see what the issue is here. No leaks where I put stuff in, just right there on the seal here. So let's see. Not sure why it would leak there. It seems like it's all pretty clean. So let's try it again. Now it says that the tank is rated at 60 PSI. So going to 40 should not be a problem, I would think, but maybe it is. Now when you're using a tool like this as leverage, you definitely don't want to get too crazy with it. All right, let's try this one now. All right. So I don't hear any air leaking. Doesn't mean there isn't any. So what I'll do is I'll let it sit here for an hour and see how it holds pressure. All right, so it's been a little over an hour, and I'm at, let's see here, 30 pounds. So I lost 10 pounds in the hour. Now, the first 15 minutes I lost a couple pounds, and when I retightened everything, I used some soapy water to find some air leaks. And the only thing I think of is it's got to be the seal around here. These all seem to be pretty tight. I mean, there doesn't seem to be much in the way of air leak. I mean, there is if you pull that thing out. But after an hour, losing down to 30, that's going to be okay for resin because you basically want the pressure at the beginning. Now, a couple ways to combat that. One way would be to go ahead and plug back in and just fill it up every hour or so, at least for the first couple hours. The other way that you can do it is just plug it into your compressor and set your pressure regulator to 40 pounds and then just keep this valve open right here, and that will constantly be putting 40 pounds of pressure into this probably throughout the night. I mean, it'll probably take all night before that could eliminate all of this and all of this. But right now, I'm pretty happy with the way it is. I mean, it took very little to convert this thing, and it was relatively easy to do. Now, like what you're doing right now, watching a video how to do this, I watched a couple of videos to convert this, quite a few as a matter of fact, and a lot of them use the regulator, and they use the regulator has a pressure gauge. But the only problem with the regulator is that they tell you to put the inlet going in, which is correct, but the pressure regulator, the air that's going out, that's what this is basically telling you, how much air it's letting out of this valve. It's not telling you how much air is coming here or how much air is in the tank. At least that's my thinking. Perhaps I'm totally wrong on that. But so that's why I didn't want to even use the regulator. There was no reason to use it. I just wanted to use the gauge off there. So I could have bought another one. I think I've seen one for like $8 or something like that. They're relatively inexpensive. But I just want a gauge on this. I just want a way to put air in it and a way to release air. And that's it. And then I release the air before I open it all up. So right now, I think this is pretty much a success. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up some epoxy and making something to put in here to try it out in a full test. But right now, I think, maybe after this thing gets worn in, the seal gets worn in, or maybe I could put a little oil on the seal or put a little, something on the seal to help make sure that it stays on there and doesn't leak. I'm not sure exactly what you use. I'll have to look that up. But I think this is going to work for my needs. I can easily hook it up to my air compressor, or I can just come out here and pump in a little air every hour or so. And that's fine for the first couple hours, because once it's done, curing most of the way, the air bubbles have no way of escaping. Basically, this is something you want to do at the very beginning while the resin is in a liquid form, it pushes the air bubbles out. So that's how you convert a Harbor Freight airless spray tank or pressure paint tank into a pressure tank for using for resin or whatever else you need a pressure tank for. So please be sure to subscribe to the channel. That helps out a lot. And that way you're going to see when I start making some stuff in this tank what comes out of it. Thanks for watching.